This might be my new favorite t-shirt. I don't know. We'll see. Hi guys, my name is Ashley and I am a serial entrepreneur and bringing you a video today on 3 mistakes that I made in my first year of a product-based business. If you've been following my journey, I have been taking you guys along with me on this channel with my whole recent endeavor of making candles. But first it started out as a hobby, and as most creatives and entrepreneurs, we have a really hard time keeping things in the hobby lane. We like to start to monetize on those hobbies and turn them into businesses. My last 2 businesses are a yoga business here in town in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and then the other one is a freelance marketing business. And then if you want to throw this one into a hat, I run an Airbnb as well. But today's video is all about 3 mistakes that I made and wish I would have done differently looking back on my first year as a candle business. But first, if you're not sure what this shirt means and you just now watched this video and none of my other ones on my channel, I tend to say I digress a lot. So I decided to make a shirt out of it because Sticker Mule, which if you guys haven't used Sticker Mule before, change that. They run these promotions every once in a while and they're like, make a shirt for $19. And I was like, I digress. I'm gonna make that into a shirt. I have a few other catchphrases, so hopefully I'll drop those on you guys today. And check out some of my other videos on my channel, aka subscribe and let's be friends. All right, so let's get into it today. 3 mistakes that I made as a candle business in my first year, 2021, that I've now looked back on and I was like, ugh, cringing at. There are just some things that I don't necessarily think that I wouldn't do them again, but I would definitely do them with a nice refined way about them. Let me tell you a little bit more context. The first thing that I would change about my candle business in the first year was not release so many damn scents. It didn't make any sense. I literally made so many scents that I was like, I'm diluting my scents. And here's how. What I would do is I would release let's say 3 scents at a time. And what I really found was while there was a lot of hype and excitement around releasing new scents, when I would release multiple at a time, it almost kind of diluted the excitement around one individual scent. And so what I think I'm gonna do differently this year is, yes, I will bring new scents to the table, but I will probably only bring 1 at a time. So what I did in the summer of last year is I released 3 summer scents. And while they did great, and they stuck around quite a bit, I almost wish that either one, I would have spaced them out a little bit more if I was gonna go with those 3 different scents, just to give them a little bit more time to gain some traction, have a little bit more social media presence, and a little bit more excitement around each individual one. As I like to say, give them their own legs to stand on. That way, it would have felt not so convoluted, not so saturated within my own product line. And I also think that it would have helped me really find which ones would be best sellers or not. Like I said, they all did well. None of them really stood out as oh, I've got to get rid of this one or discontinue it right away. But I do think that it would have been nice, especially during the slower months of the summer, to have little spikes of interest and little peaks rather than one big peak and then things to kind of drop off again. Not as many scents at once, and maybe not as many scents at all. So my second thing that I learned a lot about was seasonal scents. Yes, I just talked about summer, but this one I specifically for this point want to talk about holiday scents. I probably should have calculated this ahead of time, nutmeg, whiskey. I released 5 scents for holiday. 1, because I had a really hard time putting my blinders on to decide what scents I needed to release. I liked all of them and then I just kind of went with it. Now again, I don't necessarily regret offering all of these because I had a really successful holiday season, but I think for the sake of giving each individual scent its time to shine on its own, I probably gonna scale that back in 2022 to 3, maybe 4 scents, depending on what scents I end up with. Maybe one of those being more geared towards fall, Thanksgiving, and then 3 of them geared towards true holiday Christmas candles. And another thing that I learned about that is that I initially released all of my scents and I sold out within the first day, which was wonderful. I'm not complaining. So I was like, oh, I've got to make all holiday, so many more holidays, even going into this big market that I did. And what I realized is that, yes, it was a big bang and a big ta-da moment where everyone wanted holiday scents, but there really is a short shelf life with holiday scents. So I think what I would do coming into this year is I would still offer a few different choices. I think that that's important. I maybe would space them out a little bit, like I mentioned with the summer scents. And also what I think I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna make a limited quantity and cut it off, as opposed to restocking and restocking. Specifically with the market that I did, I know that I really went overboard on over preparing for that, which if you're not sure how much product to make, I have a video for that. My point is, I digress. My point is on this that I just want to land real quick, gotta land the plane because people say I talk too much. I will make a lot of scents, a variation of them. I will make a lot of quantities, but I also will stop while I'm ahead. But I do know that I'm not just gonna keep replenishing and replenishing. I'll probably market and promote like this is the last batch, get it while it's hot, and once it's gone, it's gone. That might be a sad, hard day, and I might be shooting myself in the foot with that, but then if that's the case, then I'll make another video a year from now, and I'll tell you what I did in year 1, and then what I learned in year 2, and what I'm gonna do for year 3. So stay tuned. The third learning lesson or thing that I definitely am going to do differently going into my second year of business has to do around markets. So if you've watched my videos, you know I have a lot of experience and interest and just like passion around what markets did for my business in the first year. And they were a lot. They brought in a lot of revenue for me. They brought in a lot of like community contacts and reach and getting to know customers and really allowing them to smell the candles. Since I'm only an e-commerce site, they can't smell it online, which is a big like aha moment that I probably should have thought through a little bit more. Nonetheless, I digress. My point on this is what I'm going to do going into the next year is definitely be as available to markets that I possibly can be, but I am going to be a bit more in the driver's seat in regards to being a vendor. What naturally happens with these markets is there's like a call to vendors. Apply, be a part of our market, so on and so forth. There's a lot of like one-off markets where there'll be like a spring market or like another business in town will have a pop-up market. Those are great. But what I'm really going to do is I'm going to ask those that are putting on all of these markets, like, how is this going to be marketed? How many people do you expect in attendance? Will there be other candle makers there? And really finding out as much information as I can so that I can at least prepare and know like how many candles I should ideally be bringing given the amount of people that are expected, and really set myself up for success in regards to preparation. Unless it was a weekly market that I was a part of, you know, you kind of get the patterns and you get the idea of like how much to be bringing. But for these one-off events, you know, sometimes I would find that I would be a little disappointed because I thought maybe they were going to promote to the public a little bit more, let people know that the market was even happening. And sometimes I felt like the weight really came on me as a vendor to like really pull that crowd. Now, most of the times that's not a problem for me given my marketing background because I know that I need to promote, I know that I need to share so that people know where to find me. But I also would really appreciate that support and that marketing backing of the host of the event. That is one thing that I am going to make sure of going into this new year, that it's okay to ask questions. It's okay to, you know, gather more information about these events. And maybe you find that the event just simply isn't for you, or maybe you find that the event is worth the risk of taking because maybe they don't have the answers for that and it's their first event. I don't really know, but I just know that my goal for this year is to be present in more markets. And therefore, I need to really divide and conquer my time and see what's going to make the most sense and what's going to be the most bang for my buck as a candle maker. Because here's the thing, I also don't want to go to a smaller new event in town and there already be 3 candle makers. And I think it's okay to ask that question. No knock to them, they can be there, that's totally fine. But maybe depending on the amount of people that are going to attend, do I really want to be in a market where it's already overly saturated? Maybe I do. I don't know. So those are the 3 things that I like just now in January going into February and then into March. I really wanted to ruminate on and understand, and just off the top of my head really want to know going forward and change, and have already changed going into my second year of business. So if you guys, again, haven't subscribed to my channel, I would absolutely love it if you came along on this journey with me so we could be friends and you can see all the things that I'm trying to learn from, mistakes from, and share with you guys. I also have 30 for 30, which is a 30-minute Zoom session. You sign up in the link below in the description box, and it's $30 for 30 minutes. And all we do is we go through all the things that are stressing you out, overwhelming you. So whether you're a candle maker, an entrepreneur like in some other field, you just basically let me know, because a lot of the marketing and business related questions are pretty universal. And I would love to just work through some of those strains and stresses for you so that we can like remove those roadblocks and be just like shiny, happy people that we all are. Subscribe, guys. Check me out. I digress. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.